this video, I'll show you how to replace the carburetor on a Briggs and Stratton lawnmower. This lawnmower stopped running properly. Most of the time, the issue is with the carburetor because most gas that we use has ethanol in it. That ethanol can plug up the tiny holes that are in the orifices in the carburetor, or dirt can get in there and stop it from running properly. You can disassemble a carburetor and clean it. It's pretty time consuming, doesn't always take care of the problem. These carburetors, the replacement is usually less than $20. So it's a pretty inexpensive fix to just buy a new one and put it in. It's a lot faster and is more likely to solve the problem the first time. I'll put a link in the description of this video to where you can buy this exact carburetor on Amazon like I did. But make sure you check your engine model number, make sure you get the right part. If you take the engine model number, or even here you can scan this little barcode on the front of this engine, it'll pop up what your engine model number is. Just Google that engine model number and parts list. You'll find the part number for the carburetor. I generally buy them on either Amazon or eBay. I find to be the places with the best prices. To get to the carburetor, first remove the air cleaner cover. You'll see this air filter is really dirty. The carburetor I bought came with a new one, so I'll put the new one on when I replace this. Also want to make sure you clean all the grass out of the inside of the filter cover. You can see there's some dirt there too. And there are 4 screws to remove this air cleaner box. 2 of them are 7mm, one here and one here, and 2 of them are 8mm here and here. Then you're going to remove this cover. It's going to pull off this breather hose here. It just pulls off. Set that to the side. And you can see the carburetor here. These carburetors are not bolted in like most metal carburetors. They actually just slide in and out. You can see where the linkage goes in here on the old one. So the new one, just double checking everything looks the same. Notice this does not have anything attached to it. This is comes out of the primer line. I'm wondering if maybe why it won't start is this got plugged up with dirt. I tried cleaning it out, but wasn't able to get anywhere with that. So the next thing you need to do, if there's gas in your tank, is clamp the fuel line so when you remove the carburetor, it doesn't leak out. The way I like to do that is just with a piece of cardboard and some vice grips. Set the vice grips so they have enough room to clamp the rubber. I don't like to put the vice grips directly on the rubber gas hose. I like to just put a piece of cardboard on there and then clamp them down. And that pinches off any gas flow that might be coming out. All right, take a pair of pliers and grab onto the clamp here. Slide it back, and that'll release the hose. Give it some rotation. Pull the carburetor out of the fuel line. Might be a little bit of gas in here, no big deal. Got a rag here, I can clean it up. And then take that linkage off. Now you'll notice there's a little plastic ring here and an O-ring inside. Make sure that those don't stay on here. If they are, remove them. You'll want to use the ones that come new on the new carburetor. This one has a black ring and O-ring, but it doesn't really matter what color. You also notice I need to put this O-ring on here. The new one came with the carburetor. So we just take this and press it into place. So one of my wonders was this not priming because dirt came in through here, this little vent here on the old one. And see, this one is the same way. It's just a little hole there. Just to make it a little bit harder path for dirt to get in, I'm going to take a piece of 2-stroke fuel line and connect it on here. Air can still flow through this easily either way, but it just gives more room for dirt to get trapped before it gets into the carburetor. This is completely optional. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I'm going to try it. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Then to put this back on, take the linkage, slide it through this lever here. Normally when I'm doing this, I will put a fuel shutoff in to the fuel line. That way you can turn off the fuel when you're not using it. What you do is shut the fuel off, keep the lawnmower running, and let it run dry at the end of the season. That way it's not sitting with gas in the carburetor all over the winter when you're not using it. That gas degrades and gums up the carburetor and can clog it. But the fuel line on here is so short, there's not room to put one of these in, so I'm not going to do that. Next thing I need to do is put the fuel line back on. Okay, I can take this clamp off. Now at this point, use your pliers to move the clamp back on. I'm going to feed this through here. The hole on the back of the carburetor lines up with the hole that's on the side of the engine block. Everything else just kind of slides into place. Next thing is to reattach this primer bulb. I'm going to take my rag, clean out any loose dirt in here. Okay, and then reattach this using the 4 screws. When you're putting this on, make sure you get this breather tube here. And you just push it onto the back and then line everything up. When reinstalling these screws, be really careful not to over torque. These two here, here and here, they are actually just going into the plastic of the carburetor, so don't over tighten them or you'll strip it out. Let's go ahead and prime it and see if it starts. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. You can also ask me your questions in the comments or subscribe to my channel for more helpful tips. Thanks.